MTO 5 is one of 5 medium-term outcomes that describe IJR's work linked to its vision of building fair, democratic and inclusive societies in Africa. 4 of those outcomes look outwards and describe basically the work we do in South Africa and on the continent. But then IJR also has this 5th MTO, medium-term outcome, which describes the internal work of IJR. And it reads, democratic, fair and inclusive practices guide the Institute's processes, policies and operations. And here we also have it written on a whiteboard.
They tell the joke of the mechanic whose car is always broken, or the doctor who chain smokes, or the NGO that preaches peace but is actually a haven for conflict and retrograde management practices. And I think it's partly that joke that motivated us to take it seriously, the fact that we ought to practice what we preach and walk the talk with integrity. And I think, without being too sanctimonious, without being too self-righteous, what MTO 5 is about is saying if we advise society on matters pertaining to justice and reconciliation, we as the Institute for Justice and Reconciliation better practice those values inside the 4 walls. And so this is a very sincere attempt for us to take stock of our own organization and the ethos that infuses us and how do we treat one another.
Personally, I found that it has become a very positive working environment, and staff get to be included in decisions that affect them and that affect the organization, which is something you don't find in every organization. And as a result, the atmosphere generally has improved a lot, and it's a much more exciting environment to work. And even when I talk to my friends about working for IJR and just describing how the working environment is, everyone wants to come here. So I can personally say it is a place that has changed a lot because of the introduction of MTO 5.
Just working at IJR, one will get a sense very quickly of how we roll and how we do things at IJR. But some of the key concepts I think of when I think of MTO 5 and how we can sort of operationalize it in our daily work is participation, inclusion, consultation. And that really begins with one another. So it's really doing what we do here at IJR together. Consulting with one another, talking to one another, seeking advice, seeking expertise from people who've done similar things on a professional level, but also on a personal level. So I think the kind of relationships that we here at IJR have with one another speak very much as well to MTO 5 and how we realize that. But also I think on a deeper level, if you think of IJR as a microcosm of South Africa, then we here at IJR really should be trying to build that microcosm that is representative of South Africa as a whole. So really IJR becomes sort of a mini South Africa in which its staff members try and aspire to the kind of values that we'd like to see in the South Africa that we're working towards.
MTO 5 is such an important part of being at the Institute. It is a one medium-term objective that is actually geared towards making sure that we do what we say on paper that we will do. Not just out there for the public to see, but inside. And that's the most difficult one. And that's why I'm so excited about this, because there's a commitment to do what is right, not just outside, but also inside. And that's why I got involved. And I really think it's important that we own this, and I made the decision to own it, and so I was involved last year. I mean, it's amazing things, and it has just helped people to unload some of the baggage that they're there. And it's uncomfortable because not all of us have the confidence to say, I'm happy with this one. But this is what MTO 505 could potentially become. It becomes the safe space for people to really, without feeling that they're going to be targeted, say what they want to say. And so what I'm saying to everybody, is this is your medium-term objective. It's great that we always have a committee, but it's the committee facilitates it, but it's yours. Own it, and you get the most of it.
MTO 5 is a very powerful tool to help build organizational culture. So in my profession, I'm always interested in what is it that makes an organizational culture? Is it the people? Is it the building? Is it the nature of the business? So what are those things, those key attributes about an organization that can build a successful, functional, healthy organizational culture? So for me, it's MTO 5 because it's something we aspire to. It's something that helps guide all of our behavior. It guides our policies, it's our practices, and every time we're not sure about something or we want to question or challenge a particular policy or process or an approach, we use MTO 5. And we MTO 5 it. Is it, will it pass the MTO 5 test? Is it inclusive? Is it fair? So MTO 5 helps us keep each other accountable. So we hold each other accountable for our behaviors. It's something that helps keep us in check, but it's also something that we're aspiring to as an organization.
I mean, what we have said is this should go further than words. MTO 5 is not just about a set of values that we write up on a nice piece of paper and we put on the wall. This is about living it. And therefore, we need to hold ourselves accountable to what is actually happening. Now, from my office as director, things may look very different to what it looks like from the reception desk, for example, or one of the intern desks, or one of the junior project managers. So it's important to create spaces where they can say, listen, this is what it looks like from my perspective. And at that point, for me not to pull rank or any other senior person in the institute, but to allow that perspective to in fact have due recognition and that we listen to it. Of course, at some point, any effective organization has to make choices. We have to move forward. We must say yes to certain things and no, and therefore we need a decision-making process. And we've got that too. But that process is as democratic and inclusive as we can possibly make it.
As an intern working at IJR, I feel welcome. The whole team, the whole of IJR welcomed me with open arms. They treat you as an equal. That is the best, because when you go out in the real world, you are seen as nothing, and here they practice what they preach. So it's a lovely place to work. The people are lovely, friendly, and you enjoy it, and the work is great. What they do is awesome. Yeah, that's IJR for you.